Hey, what's up, guys? Adam Perry here with TrueDFS, and I am going to go over today's four-game NHL DFS slate. We'll go over it on DraftKings. We'll go over it on FanDuel. The NBA is not yet started, so we're getting on these NFL off nights. We're getting some pretty good contests. So there's a lot to like. We got 25K up top for the single entry for the high dollar. We've got like a 20K up top for the $5. We'll kind of hand build a single entry. We'll run some sims for a single entry, and I'll build for 150 max. I threw one in the $5 just so I could get the sims going. So we'll see how our portfolio of lineups looks for that. We'll maybe build a little on FanDuel, and maybe we'll look at some prop bets, and then we'll bounce. But we'll get all the action we need. Afternoon to you too, Andy. What's up? Who do you like today? So, all right. I'm just getting back in the swing of things. I've been gone for 5 weeks. I've been sick, as many of you saw in the last stream. So usually I play like these single entry. I mean, it's not a single entry. I think it's like 7 max, but I usually play one in this kind of thing when I do. And you just look at the totals for this slate, like Utah just jumping out, right? Then you got St. Louis at 3-4, and then no one else above 3 in an implied total. So really, really strong play on Utah. I was just looking at Goldie's projections. You know, Tage Thompson's going to stand out. Buffalo's been terrible, but he's a great offensive player. And Dahlin, of course, correlates with him. And you get Batherson really cheap on Ottawa. Again, like not the great total, but cheap. But then all these Utahs. So maybe we'll play around with Utah. I mean, they're going to be chalky. So the question is, like, how do you get different? I was playing around with it before and got some lower owned stuff with them. I like to play those 5-mans. There's some question about whether it's strong or not. You like St. Louis? Yeah, St. Louis is going to be like the pivot off of Utah, I think. But we'll see. Let's see how we could build with either of them. Utah's lines, I think the top line is like Keller, Hayton, Schmaltz, Gunther, Cooley, and then Sergachev is going to play a ton of minutes. And they're all going to correlate on power play 1. Not all. Schmaltz, Keller correlate. You can throw Hayton in there to get cheap. I was playing around with something like that. It's not the full power play. I took Keller off, something like that. And then you got a ton, right? You got a ton of money left. You can correlate Vejmelka. I think Vejmelka is going to be high owned. He's going to be the spend up that gets owned over Hofer, I think. So Hofer is just, they're both expensive. I mean, they need to do a lot at that, but it's a small field, right? So the win matters. Maybe some Ottawa. Yeah, Buffalo has been terrible. Ottawa makes some sense. Florida makes a little bit of sense too if you're playing Ottawa, although Florida's going to be expensive, I think, relative to their projection. St. Louis stands out after Utah. Florida not really, kind of coming up there. No Chicago's, of course. But you could play you could always play like Bedard. See, to me, when Bedard's low owned, he's like a really good one-off. Despite the low total, Bedard could always put up points. He should be better than last year. I mean, what if 6,200? It seems like a great price for him. If you put him in, just throw him in there. We want to go. We have 3,900 a man. We got any cheapos? I mean, there's plenty. You could correlate them with Murphy or Vlasic. They're not that cheap, though. And Chicago's going 11-7, I think. So their ice time is not going to be what it's been. Yeah, they're going 11-7. So I don't know. What could you could do Rinzel. He's gonna get he's gonna be in the top D pairing. He should get 20 minutes. Only got 14 last game, but 25 before that. I mean, he'll correlate with Bedard. Let's just say, what if you did throw him in? What could you get? What could you get at 3,300? Oh, Doan. You could fit. Okay, so you could fit Doan in, who's not bad. Like, it's not a great. He's not great, but he's on power play 1. It's a decent one off. Let's see how he looks if he's coming up in like the top guys here. Yeah, I mean, look, he's page 1. It's probably pretty good point per dollar. Yeah, second point per dollar. He'll probably get some ownership, especially on a 4-game slate. You could do something like that. It's a chalky Utah team. I mean, I don't think they're going to be stacked this way that much. I think most of them would have Keller. If people are playing 5-mans, they're going with the power play. So it's a little different. You could also go down at goalie if you want to spend up, but then like Doan will get some ownership, but I don't think Bedard or Rinzel will. So this is kind of a fun way to do it. Let's see if we did St. Louis. Let's just take like we'll look at Goldie's projections and take the top values. Who's on the power play? Shen is. I think Thomas and Buchnevich are. Neighbors isn't. Snuggard is. Snuggard. And who's the quarterback? Parayko? Fowler. Yeah. It's not a great power play, in my opinion. But they play Chicago. So you got the killer total. The price is right. Thomas is pricey at 7K. He doesn't get a lot of goals, but he gets a lot of assists. We're going to do all this with simulations. But it's always fun to do this, to get a look at the slate, right? Who are the top? Snuggerud is the top value. Oh, and Pius Suter. Now he's on line 3 and not on the power play. That's interesting. Playing a third line. What if you do that? You're probably getting just a ton of cheapness here. And then who's the other third liner? Joseph. You could get some of the power play in if you want. Who are the top values? Whoop. We need to look at the news. Shouldn't be like a very newsy slate. Not much coming in. Joseph looking like a top value too. I don't think people are going to play him. 1% ownership. Parayko over Fowler. Okay, so we could do something that's not a power play thing. Could do Joseph. And we could pretty much get anyone. We could play it with Hoffer for sure. And then are these guys on? Are they getting Suitors on 2? Falk is 2. Okay. So we're not even getting power play 2, but okay. They're all priced around the same. All right, so get Parayko. Then you can do anything. You want Tage? Who else? Who do we like? Sergachev's going to be high owned, but we could do Tage and Dahlin. You could go with another St. Louis guy if you want. You can just get anything. You get Tuck correlated, the 4-3 type thing. You could fit some pretty strong guys here. You can get the Batherson. That's a good lineup. Now, I imagine this is going to be not that owned because they're a third line. You get the Joseph in there at the low ownership. So I don't know. That's kind of cool. Let's run some sims here. So So we'll run for single entry. We'll run for 150 max. See what we get to. I'll just use SaberSims for now. Instead of uploading goalies, I'm on the native SaberSim. That's fine for now. Let's see, any news updates? I don't think this is a very newsy slate. We can get stuff for tomorrow though. 11 games tomorrow. Continues that off-balance schedule. Kopitar game time decision against Pittsburgh. Are they at home? Is that going to be a late night thing? LA Kings schedule. Yeah. Okay. So, news to look for tomorrow. Unless we get some clarity. Let's see. Got lineups, run the Sims. I'm not going to play 5 in the lotto. We had trouble last time running without having lineups uploaded, so I threw one in there. Okay. We're going to have this trouble again? I hope not. Here we go. Attach that. And we'll run diversifier. It's going to think we have one lineup. We want to let's first run for 150 max and see what our portfolio looks like. All right. Diversifying. Tage, our top owned player, 36%. Pretty flat out here. Goalies. Cam Talbot. Highest owned goalie by a lot. Is he the top value goalie? Yeah. It's okay. Maybe he should get owned then. Makes sense. Let's see stacks. I forgot to change up stacks. I really only want the 4 3s, the 5. I'll take the 5s, 5 2s. I'll allow some 4 2s on the 4-game slate. But these other ones I don't want. We'll just see. Just for now, we'll take it. We don't have to redo this whole build. Utah makes sense. 50%. I mean, their chances are strong. SaberSim's got an average of 3.8. Remember, SaberSim is doing averages. The betting market is in medians. So you can't use SaberSim to bet, as people like to do or like to talk about sometimes. It doesn't work. Don't try that at home. We will use the Pater model for betting. We can use it for DFS too. We could check out what some of the Sims like in Pater. So after Utah, we get Buffalo and then Ottawa. So there you go, Andy. St. Louis coming in way lower. I mean, I guess the thing is St. Louis projects. They've got the high total, but you don't need to go. You don't need to dip price wise. I mean, maybe that's it. I wonder if we lowered salary if you get some. I don't know that you're going to get a lot of line 3 though. But those guys, they're projecting well for the price. That's for sure. Let's see our main stacks. 4-man's Buffalo, Ottawa, not a lot of Utah. A lot of Utah onslaughts. You get some St. Louis onslaughts. I thought we would get 3-man's and 2-man's St. Louis. We just don't get a ton of St. Louis. Just not looking great for the value. Now here, one of the interesting things, I mean, we're getting the Ottawa and the Buffalo, but they have projected in an implied total right there with Florida. Now they're close, but Florida has a slightly higher. Let's see on Pinnacle. So on Penny, let's see, team totals. I don't know. Florida and Ottawa are the same. Okay. So that's right on point. Buffalo's a little lower, though. But not in here. So Florida, so here it has Ottawa just a little ahead of Florida. Kind of tells you that Florida's going to be low owned. You get Detroit doesn't really play defense. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind getting some Florida, enforcing it a little bit extra. I wonder if we hand built with Florida, what we get. Are they just too expensive? Is that the issue? They are always. I mean, Tkachuk and Barkov are out though. So let's see what you could do with them. Bennett, Marchand, Reinhardt. What's the correlation like? Reinhardt, Bennett, Marchand, the double D on the power play. Let's just see. So what if we went line one? We won't do power play. Marchand, Bennett, Samoskevich is not high priced. No. And we could take like Ekblad or Jones. Pick up Jones is a little less money. So take him. Let's see. Plenty of minutes there. I'm sure Ekblad as well. Yeah. Pick which one is going to do it. Who knows? So, you could do something with Florida. No, I keep correlating the goalie. You don't have to do that. It just makes it easier to just get on with it when we hand build these right here. Or we could, you could pick goalie last too. So we could look at some of those values. Who are the point per dollar values? Doan, Batherson. So Florida's going to be low owned. So we could play some Utah too. Like Schmaltz popping out. Schmaltz, Sergachev. Who is Schmaltz? Is Schmaltz with Hayden? Is that what we said? Yeah. I mean, this is a nice 4-3 stack putting up. Okay. We could get Vimelka. We get this 6,300. Bedard. I like it. I don't know. I don't mind Florida. I just think they're being underprojected given the total. I could be wrong. What do I know? But I would put some Florida in there. Let's see if we run a sim for a single entry, but for the high dollar. Oh, okay. I ran it. Okay. I had it already set up. Good. So if I'm playing one lineup, which I probably will, I want to see one lineup going, and I want to sort it. I don't need to sort it by ROI. I don't know. Need to do that, but you know what? I do need to sort it by ROI because I want to switch to getting the ROI for. See, I hate when it does this. There we go. Get the ROI for. Don't want projection for the big buy-in. Detroit. Who'd have thunk it? Get Detroit with a little bit of Utah. Super contrarian. Calgary coming in there. Here you get a Utah. You just go low owned around them. The onslaught. But really liking from an ROI perspective, Detroit, little Buffalo. Buffalo's not good, but they've got offense. Not getting any of the Florida. I mean, Florida's going to be just untouched. And like here, SaberSim, part of that is SaberSim thinks that they're every bit the same as Buffalo and Ottawa. They're the same as Ottawa. They're not the same as Buffalo. They have a better projection than Buffalo. Not better projection, better total. But that goes with projection. I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to go against the Sims, what they're telling me. I like the Detroit thing. I imagine Detroit comes in a little higher. So that's some question if you want to do it. I'd maybe go Buffalo. Came up next. St. Louis going to be owned. Utah and then St. Louis is going to be the chalk. Utah, big time chalk. So I don't know. If it were me, I'm either going with Detroit or I'm going to the second highest ROI in Buffalo, just thinking that Detroit gets a little bit of steam given how many people use SaberSim. But yeah, there you have it. Let's see. Let's take a look. People always ask about betting. So let's go to the pay dirt model. I like the idea of using like a different model for betting. I mean, SaberSim doesn't work for betting, and then you'd have to sim it out. And frankly, I don't know how to do that, and I don't know that it's possible, right? With some things, you could do like the Poisson calculation, but you can't do it with hockey. And you can't, Poisson's not perfect either. So let's go. No, I want to go to the betting model. What am I doing? So I like the idea. We use Pater for betting. You could get this at TrueDFS.com. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Check out TrueDFS.com. You get access to everything I just used, the projections, SaberSim for the contest simulations, and the Pater model for DFS and for betting that we're going to do right here. So let's get, here we go. Let's see if there is an update. All right. I was playing around with this and didn't have a problem. And now, here we go. Here we go. Let's run the Sims. And what it'll do is it'll figure out the prices at all these books and figure out the projection and then tell you the percentage edge you have. Now, it'll come up. The model thinks it's perfect, right? So it'll come up with huge edges. We can't necessarily buy that. But we probably want to bet, but like you get all these at like 29%, 30% edge. We don't want to go crazy. We don't want to think that we actually have that big of an edge. But there's some unders looking good. The other thing we don't want to bet, too many unders in the same game. If any, I'm not sure I'd even want to bet more than one. But so you got St. Louis, Chicago. Pick an under. Thomas shots on goals. You can get it anywhere at great value. Carew shots on goal unders. Looking good. Then you can get like Uyghur for the shot on goal under. 1.5 is looking good. Ottawa in there with Stützle. Florida with Bennett. I would bet one from each game. That's maybe a way to do it. Flat staking, I think. You could do Kelly. The thing is, it's hard to know exactly. We know, okay, we have a bigger edge here than we do here, but it's, it's a little off because it thinks so 38% is we don't have that big an edge. So Kelly's going to get thrown off. You could do quarter Kelly, but I would just flat stake it. And maybe if you want to increase it a little, for the Robert Thomas versus the Stützle, you could do something like that. $100, $75, something like that. So yeah, some bets. We didn't do FanDuel today. You can take a look quickly at Goldie's projections. People always ask about FanDuel. We'll just look real quick, see who's sticking out. And tomorrow we'll build on FanDuel. It's still Utah. It's still St. Louis. They're popping even more, though. St. Louis coming up more than Utah. So that's a notable thing. Tage in there, but not the top guy. Just jamming Utah. You can't play 5-man stacks on FanDuel. But you got plenty of value Utah guys. More than the 4-man. So a lot you could do. Pricing tends to be softer on FanDuel. So yeah. There you have it. There you have it. Don't forget, like and subscribe. It means a lot to us. And, say hello in the chat. I see people are watching. So if you're out there watching, pop in, say hello. Good afternoon to you again, Andy. And good luck on tonight's slate. Check out TrueDFS.com after you watch this. Check out the packages. Really great deal. And a lot you can get. So with that, I bid you adieu and good luck on tonight's slate. Let's go.